This is Hawkins. I know the worst thing that's ever happened here in the 4 years I've been working here. It was when an owl attacked Eleanor Gillespie's head because it thought that her hair was a nest.
The creators of Wayward Pines, the Duffer Brothers, return with a brand new chilling series called Stranger Things starring Winona Ryder. And I absolutely love this show, and I'll tell you why. Childhood adventure, BMXs, secret government agencies, and a middle American landscape. You'd be forgiven for thinking that these are the ingredients for a classic Spielbergian adventure, or perhaps a dark, twisted David Lynch mystery. But that's the magic of this show. It's a crockpot of nostalgia. It's a homage to those great shows of the 80s and 90s like Twin Peaks, X-Files, Forever Knight. But what was it about those shows that captivated legions of fans and inspired a generation of writers? Up until the 80s, horror on TV had been mostly satirical and hokey. And then when people like David Lynch and Chris Carter came along with their twisted visions of modern America, audiences couldn't get enough of it. We were given a glimpse into society's shadows where the safety of day was abandoned by the cover of night. The worlds that Lynch and Carter created were places where innocence and malevolence shook hands. Shadows and light were as fundamental as the characters themselves. Bumps in the night were no longer tropes. And with Twin Peaks, they presented normal people dealing with extraordinary situations. And people at home could relate to that. And when it came to the X-Files, that was less subtle and the horror was visceral and confronting. The power of that show derived from the classic monster movie formula, while blending them with the procedural crime format that we also recognise. Stranger Things is a love letter to those shows of the 80s and 90s, as well as their contemporaries like Stephen King, Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, and a whole lot of others. In fact, there's never been a more appropriate use of the term throwback.
Maybe Will saw something that he shouldn't have.